possession and his descendants after him. So let's hear what the continued thing that you keep seeing is that when the early church fathers, when they're trying to make this argument that Christ is the Messiah, they're not just coming up and saying, well, he's the Messiah because we saw him do miracles. He's the Messiah because he did all these, because we say so and he told us. He's not doing that because that wouldn't be effective. What is that? What is a miracle to someone who hasn't seen it? God will do miracles. Miracles are a wonderful thing. Maybe some of you have experienced it. I have personally. But it's a personal thing. It's for you, between you and God. It's not an effective way to evangelize because it doesn't mean anything. People lie. People have motives. The old story is, the young man comes up to the woman in church that he spit with and says, God told me that you're to be my wife in a dream. And she says, well, when he tells me in a dream, then I'll be your wife. This doesn't mean anything. It's of no value. That there are ulterior motives that we bring into these things, right? So rather than just saying on my authority or because I knew the man or because I was with him 3.5 years, what does he do? He takes them back to the beginning, just like Jesus did. The weight of evidence. Just like Jesus told John's disciples, am I the Messiah? What do you see? They saw him fulfilling all the prophecies. They went back and told John, said, did he tell you? Is he the one? Or was I right? He said, well, he didn't tell us, but he is doing this. He is healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, and feeding the hungry. And John knew his Bible, and he was content. He is the one. Why? Because Jesus said so? No, because he was fulfilling the prophecies. And that's what Stephen's doing here. He's taking them back and painting the picture from Abraham. They don't deny Abraham. They don't deny Abraham's seed is going to produce the Messiah. They know all these things. He's taking them back to that, and he beautifully, under inspiration of the Holy Spirit here, lays out the whole gospel for them to see. Just makes it Barney style for them, spoon feeding it to them. But they can't see it. They won't see it. It won't matter what he says, even though his face is shining like the face of an angel. God's Holy Spirit is speaking through him right now. God himself is speaking through Stephen, the deacon, to the chief priests, and their heart is so hard and closed off that they can't even see him. God is giving them every opportunity. He promised to give it to him for possession and to his descendants after him. But God spoke in this way that his descendants would dwell in a foreign land, that they would bring them into bondage and oppress them 400 years, laying out the story of the...
In a quarter mile, keep right to stay on I-10 East. Follow signs for I-12, New Orleans.
Bondage I will judge, said God, and he did. And after that, they shall come out and serve me in this place. And he gave them the covenant of circumcision. And so
keep right to stay on I-10 East.
Circumcised him on the 8th day. And he's going through the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Then he begot Jacob, and Jacob begot...
Continue on I-10 East for 4 miles.
And the patriarchs became envious, and they sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him. I want to go off on all these stories. I want to go off on the story of Joseph and his jealous brothers and his coat of many colors. But if we don't stay on point, we'll just never get through it. And they delivered him out of his troubles and gave him favor and wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now a famine and great trouble came over the land of Egypt and Canaan, and our fathers found no substance. But when Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent out his fathers first. And the second time Joseph was made known to his brothers, and Joseph's family became known to the Pharaoh. So the thumbnail sketch here. So Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac begot Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. The youngest son, young Benjamin, was his old man's favorite, was his father's favorite, and he doted on the boy. made him a special coat that was nice, a coat of many colors, and all of his other brothers, his 11 brothers, started becoming envious of the old man's love upon this youngest child. And Benjamin didn't do himself any, Joseph didn't